Hey guys, in this video, my second video here, we're going to talk about major chords. Now before I specifically start talking about major chords, I want to talk about how we're going to think about chords in general. So the chords are really related to the modes, which my first video is about, so if you haven't watched that yet, actually just go ahead and do that now. So as we saw, each of those modes had a unique sound. Well, if our chords are modeled similarly to those modes, and they're based around the same thing, then they're also going to each have a unique sound. You know, for each step. Here's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So, if you look at each of the modes and the chords that go along with them, like, you know, this is for the Ionian mode, because it's a C major chord, we're in the C major scale. And you go through all the modes like that, then you discover 3 different kinds of chords. First of all, the major, which has a major third and a major 7, most importantly. And you have the minor chords, which has a minor third and a minor 7. Then you have dominant chords, which have a major third and a flat 7. Okay, so in this video we're going to talk specifically about the major chords. So if we look for those specifications, having a major third and a major 7th, then there are 2 major chords, 2 different kinds of major chords. There's the one that comes on the 1st step of the scale, and then the one that comes on the 4th step of the scale. Okay, so let's talk about the first one. Now, when we play chords, I'm not talking about triads, the 1, the 3, the 5, because if you play that just sounds boring, and we're trying to not be boring. So, if I see that I need to play a major chord, I'm going to play something like this. Because it just sounds a lot more beautiful. So in this, we could play the 1, the 3, the 5, the major 7, the 9, the 13. We could play the 11 if we wanted to, but I don't like it. It's just, I don't know. I don't dig it. So that's like every note of the C major scale except for the 11. Okay, so now let's talk about the other kind of major chord. So if this was based on the Ionian mode, then the other kind of major chord is based on the Lydian mode. There's the triad, the boring triad. Now here's what I might play if I want to, you know, play something on the 4th step, something in the Lydian mode for a major chord. I'll play something like this. Lots of flexibility. I love that chord. It's probably my favorite chord. So what you see with that is you can play, well, really every single note of the C major scale, remember, or the F Lydian mode. That's every single note of the C major scale. So you just pick and choose the notes that sound the most beautiful to you, I guess. The color tones, as we might call them. And, yeah, use that to make music. The main difference between these chords is, like, well, first of all, on this one, I don't like playing the 11. Like, or this. I don't know. I don't vibe with it. But on this chord, I will play the 11 because it's a sharp 11, and it's got a great vibe. It's got, like, because the root of the chord is F, right? And the 11 is a B natural. So if we play them together, it's actually the tritone, which is, you know, it was known in medieval times as the devil's interval. So, like, if you played it, I don't know, you could actually be, like, sentenced to death for that. You just couldn't do that. But it's beautiful and used frequently in modern day music. So I mean, I love it. So that's the main difference there, is that you have that sharp 11. But I wouldn't really think of it like that. I would think, hey, we're playing an F major chord in the F Lydian mode. So it's just any note in the C major scale. It all sounds beautiful, but it's all based around one chord. And so those are the two kinds of major chords. There's the one that starts on the step 1 of the major scale, and the one that starts on the 4th step of the major scale. And messing around with that is how you figure out how to use major chords. Now be careful. Don't use the wrong type if you're in the wrong setting. Okay? And what I mean by that is if you're in a C Ionian mode, you can't play a chord you can't play the C Lydian chord, if that makes sense. That's just wrong. You have to stick to the C major scale, the C Ionian scale. And do anything within that you want, but don't go out of that. And same thing for the other one. So step 1, step 4. Those are the major chords.